me, Nicola Dickens, pretty much here. Welcome to my channel, welcome back to my channel, whichever the case may be. So today we are working on the No Worries Workbook, part 3. We are a little bit behind on that, so I'm like, oh my goodness, we are slacking here. So it is a wonderfully beautiful day in the wonderful summer heat of Arizona. Let me tell you, it is hot. So, funny story. Let's start this out with a little bit of story time. Then we're gonna get into this. But I had to go to Sam's Club yesterday. You know, it's one of those things that I have to do like once a month because it's cheaper for me to buy beer and soda and all that stuff there. So I went to Sam's Club yesterday, and wow, this woman and her girlfriend or friend or the two ladies together, whatever they are, I don't know, don't care. Kind of followed me through the store a little bit, complaining about how my little, I don't know what you want to call it, cardigan or sweater, whatever it is, that I was wearing, and how inappropriate it was, and how offensive it was. And I'm like, really? So I'd love to just show you guys what it is that I'm actually wearing. It's this really cute little, I don't know, tank top type sweater thingy. I don't know, it's not sweaters, but it is a large, and I have it tied back here. So it is a large American flag. And I finally, I've had enough, and I stopped, and it kind of came up on me a little bit, and I'm like, it's Pride Month, right? Well, yeah, I guess so. And the whole time, not quite getting it. I think they thought I was a transgendered person. Didn't understand until I actually had to come out and say no. I believe in their movement. Their movement is great, but right now I'm prideful of my country. I love my country. I love my country's people. I could really do without the government, but I love the people of the United States. So this is for you guys. Mad love. I will always love you guys. I will always love this country. It's what my family has died and fought for, as well as so many of your guys' families. So thank you. Thank you for your service, and thank you for your family member service. It's really what it comes down to, because the minute that family member goes overseas, all of a sudden that's what you're concerned about. You're worried about, oh my God, my brother's over there. Is everything going to be okay? They're in a war, blah, 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 blah. And it's hard. My brother did come back. My little brother did come back from war. He was blown up by his whole squad was blown up by an IED, or an IUD, or whatever they call it. They had driven into an area, and there was a woman in full outfit that had ran towards their squad or their people, and in doing that, she let off a suicide bomb, and they had run on one on the ground. So, yeah, it was a month of hell for me. Let me tell you, my oldest son, is very, very close to my little brother. They actually share the same birthday. Woke up the night that it happened, freaking out. He saw his uncle. He saw his uncle got blown up, and he could tell me where the dog tags were. I didn't know if that was real until my brother had come back and he was better. To where my brother did confirm that is exactly where they found his dog tags. He also brought home a set of dog tags for my son. Why are we shaking? That's weird. Don't do that. So yeah, I'm very prideful for my country. I love my country, and we are coming up on the 4th of July, so I'm going to be wearing my colors, my red, white, and blue, because this is the country that I love. This is the country that my grandparents came to. So yeah, this is an amazing thing. I want to share that with the world. You know, the people of the United States aren't the one that's the problem. It's the people that are running the people of the United States that are the problem. And it's not all of them. There may be, you know, a portion of them, but when it comes to the amount of those bad people to all of the amount of good people that there are out there, that's really what I'm hoping comes through. So, and being said, I will be wearing this little cover up, I guess, for at least the next month because I feel that my country also deserves a um, a Pride Month, a month. I believe that our forefathers fought and got, they gave us our rights. They should be the one that are celebrated a little bit more. I am not saying by any means to take away the Alphabet People's Week month. That I am not saying that. I'm just saying that maybe in the month of July we should look at being, you know, camaraderie. Why don't we come together instead of, you know, fighting each other? That's what we need to do. Is we need to say, you know, something. We're coming together. You guys are done. We're done. We're not doing this anymore. You leave our fucking kids alone. Leave them alone. Leave our elderly and handicapped. Leave them alone. Just stop. But that's not ever going to happen because that's the right thing, right? Okay. That being said, we are going to get off of that wonderful tangent. It really irked me that she's like, that is inappropriate and that is offensive, and I'm like, okay, well, the American flag, oddly enough, just like every other country's flag, has been worn since the day of its conception. That is not disrespect. That is pride. Sorry. So let's do this. We are going to smoke. Let's see what we're going to do. We have some Death Star Crumble out. We have some Watermelon Gelato out. And we have Doctor Who out. So, let's see. I also am trying to clean some of these out a little bit. So, we'll probably kind of go between all three because this is about what each container kind of starts to look like. So, as you see, there's a little bit in that container down there. So, yeah, we're going to do all of this one sort of stuff. And I do apologize. I was really hoping that my email was going to be the fix that I was needing for this whole show. I am still looking. I have not given up on that, but my email just said not working. So I am back to the noisy way of doing this. So as always, guys, don't forget to subscribe to this channel to join the Wheaties family. Excuse me, here on YouTube. That we are here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at least at 10 a.m. I'm trying to add a few more days to that because there's a few other things that I want to talk about, and I think that we all need to talk about. So let's do this. Alrighty, as always, guys, fuck cancer, fuck anxiety, fuck depression, fuck COVID. In with the good, out with the bad. So these are, for those of you that don't know, these are dabbers. This is an, holy crap, duh, it is a oil thingy. I can't even remember the name now. Holy shit, I will remember it and I will say it. Oh my god, I can't believe I totally, Nectar Collector, that's what it is. Sorry. I am trying to force myself to come up with the names that I'm constantly forgetting. So I apologize about that, but that is how we're doing it. I have a Nectar Collector here. I will kind of rub it around and get all of the little bitty pieces of the concentrate out and then move around and get the rest of it out. I do like to make sure to clean out the containers that's kind of good. That gives me access to all of the products. So let's do this. We are working on No Worries Workbook, part 3. So let's put it on here. Okay, we are starting with track your location. I love having my copy back. Okay, so track your location. When you're worrying, you're not living in the present moment. Instead, you're in one of two places, the past or the future. And of course, spending your time and energy on thoughts about the past or future leads to worry. Because these are two things you have obviously no control over. No matter how much you try. What you do have a bit of power over is the present and how you deal with it. In this activity, we're going to get into with where you are currently, the future, past, or present, so you can become more aware of where your worries take you, and also pull your mind from wherever it may be now back to the present. Sorry. So you can become more aware of where your worries take you and pull your mind from wherever it may be back to the present. In the following columns, organize your current worries into categories of past, future, or present. Okay, so just to kind of go through the first one really quick a little bit, that is now a past worry. There's nothing I can do about it. It's already happened. It didn't change how I felt about it, and it probably didn't change their reaction to me, simply because I think we all need to figure out that we need to get in our own goddamn lane and stay there. Is basically how I feel about that. Everybody is like flipping lanes and wanting to know what everybody else is doing. It's like the trucks and the vehicles that go down the road, and you get, and I don't mean to be stereotyping, but you get two old people in a 2-lane highway, and they'll pace each other, one here and one here, as to not let anybody go past, because they are now controlling the speed of the traffic. They don't want anybody else to speed because they're not going to speed. Well, get in your own damn lane, baby, because that's not your business. And that's kind of how we need to look at things now. Is this my business? Is this not my business? If it is not my business, shut the fuck up and walk away. It is really, really that simple. Okay, so, making things with my oil set. I have kind of started going through some of my essential oils that I have gotten. And I'll tell you what, the spearmint is amazing. It literally smells like a spearmint chewing gum in my trailer right now. It is so yummy. And I really like that. So I'm kind of working with that. I'm trying to bring that into the present for the future. So that's kind of the way that I'm looking at it, because I always have to bring it to my present to look at it, to write it up, to figure out what I'm going to do with the show with it, and then to put it into practice. So the oil set is one of this. And that I'm trying to bring to the present instead of keeping it in the future, because I'm afraid I'll never get to it. Is basically how it goes. So some of my past, I look at republishing some of my old work, childhood trauma, and nightmares. Those are completely a part of my past. It's something that I can't control. I can't change it. I need to let it go, and I have a really hard time. And I guarantee that if I didn't have the nightmares, it wouldn't be that difficult. It's just that the nightmares kind of like take and sink their claws into you, and you try to figure things out, and you don't know why, and you don't know what it is, and it confuses you, and you get to the point where you want to pull your hair out, but you still have to reconcile that past. It's basically how it goes for me. Present, these are things that I worry about every day. The bills, laundry, videos that I make, pills, food, video show ideas, exercise, and water. Those are things that I have to look at every single day, and it sucks. But that is a daily thing. My husband, because I've had such a hard time with money and budgeting and all of that wonderful good stuff. My husband's like, here, you're gonna do it all. He'll give me some assistance, but he knows that this is a skill I have to tackle and overcome. So that's something that I'm always trying to bring in. I always try to think about that money situation and what bills we have, kind of a thing. Because he drives me insane. He will ask me, do we have enough money for this? When he already knows, because he knows what we spend money on. He knows where it goes. And he'll be like, do we have the money? And I try. I hate saying no to him. And it's not because he gets mad or anything else. It's just that I hate saying no to him. So that's something I'm still getting used to, and I'm still trying to overcome and to tackle. The future for me is doing a new intro and outro for YouTube. I want to set up and do those fizzy rings once a week because I don't know, I think they're really cool and I think it'd be something fun to put on our socials to enjoy. I need to still set up the garage as far as my studio goes. I haven't done that quite yet either. Oh, and then looking for a place for us to go October 1st. And then flower videos. Those are always things that I kind of look at and I work with. So, take your ticket for a worry-free day. Sometimes just give yourself permission to relax. Take a breath, and just be is all you need to ease your thoughts. Sometimes just giving permission to relax. Take a breath, and just be is all you need to ease worries and thoughts. That makes more sense. Copy and carry this ticket with you whenever you need a break from your worries. Okay, so I am not going to pull that out. However, I did actually use the concept last week. Basically, I was having a hard day. I wasn't feeling very good. I knew I had another kidney infection going. I had to start antibiotics because you know how that is. And I was tired and I had it. And I had just read this portion of the book. And I'm like, hey, I'm taking my worry-free ticket day. So I did actually take it. I actually sat down and watched an entire movie. I was so impressed. Because that's not something I always do. When I'm watching TV, it's usually background noise and I'm doing something around here. Because I just can't sit still most of the time. So, yeah, I did actually use it. It was actually quite wonderful. I did have a thought. I'm like, okay, I wonder what my husband's going to say when he gets home. Not a word. Nothing. He's like, oh, what are we going to do for dinner? That was the end of it. So, it does work. It did help me a lot. And I did use it. So, it's kind of nice. Get it in writing. Okay, we are going to stop there for a moment. Because I did notice on my Manic Monday video that just went live because of all the editing, I only smoked once during that whole entire video. And I'm like, okay, well maybe that's why I was a little anxious by the time I got off that video. So we're going to kind of test it out. I'm going to make sure that, we smoke a little bit more often so that we can use this cannabis in helping us relax and helping us see what this is doing, what this is helping me with, what skills am I starting to build. So, yeah, as always, guys, don't forget to snap that subscribe button, hit the like button to join the Wheaties channel here on YouTube. Sorry, it's one of those days. It's Monday or something. So, yeah, let's do this. What do you guys think? Are you guys going to see the I want to take on any stuff resonating with you? Is it helping? Are you using any skills differently? Are they helping more than what the advice in the book is? I'd like to hear all about it. If you can throw it down in the comments below. Let's open a discussion about mental health. And let's really talk about mental health for a while and see As always, guys, fuck cancer, fuck anxiety, fuck depression, and with the good, out with the bad. So yummy. Okay, get it in writing. You are enough. Don't believe me? Fine. I get that. You don't know me, however, you do know yourself. So who better to tackle your worries about your own worth than you? In this activity, you're going to write a letter to yourself about what you deserve and why. Sound awkward? It may be at first, especially if you've been doubting yourself, but it is an important exercise because you'll be challenging those thoughts head on. In the following space, you can brainstorm about things you want to include or explore. Then use the next page to write your full letter. Flip back to it whenever you need reminding of just how much you deserve. So we have this little brainstorming area, and then our letter. Of course, I did not write in the book in case we decide to use this as a giveaway. And you don't need to be tackling my crap. Okay, so under my little brainstorm area here, some of the things that I need to work on, or that I'm very good at, and that I excel in. Self motivation and a self starter. Yeah, I get up every day with a purpose. I kind of started off with some comedy online because you just can't go anywhere without seeing that. And sometimes that puts me in a good place to do these videos. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it just makes me freaking angry and I want to throw my phone. Clean and organized. I'm not like the cleanest person on earth, but I do wash my floors, 3 times a week. I do dishes every day. I dust twice a week. I clean the garage and get all the dog hair out twice a week. I mean, I do a lot of things that I have scheduled in and make sure that I do. So I'd have to say that I'm decently organized. If I'm looking for something, I generally know where it's at. So, yeah. Love and take care of animals. I do. I absolutely love animals. Odd story, and I don't know, it is what it is, but I had a boyfriend several years ago who had a schnauzer, and it was a cute little dog, little salt and pepper dog, cute as hell. My kids loved it, but it didn't really like my youngest, and I think it bit him like twice. But we would take the dog down to the park, and the park that we would take him to had these like hills that would do that. And what would happen is the kids and I would run up and down the hills, and the dog would chase us. That gave us good exercise, and it gave the dog good exercise. Well, there was one day that it had been raining, and we had done this, and this poor little dog. I mean, he started running. He was going to town, and then he tripped over something, and he landed flat on his face and did a turn, landed back on his feet, kind of shook his head, and started running again. Well, me and the kids couldn't run after that because we were too busy laughing. Um, the dog did yelp, but he also just face fisted and rolled. I didn't notice that he had a broken tail. I don't know how to broke his tail. They have the short little stubby things. And I didn't realize it. I let this poor dog for 2 days with this tail like this. I had no idea. I felt so horrible. I still feel horrible about it. But yeah, after that, I made it a point to take, to look things over. I don't let my dogs, have that kind of an accident without me checking, make sure they're okay. And I don't know if that's why we Tigger, we call him Golden Paw, because when he wants attention and he's not getting it, he'll start limping, and it's always his right rear foot, and we call it this is Golden Paw. So I don't know if it's because I overcompensate sometimes to make sure they're okay because of this poor schnauzer or what, but I felt so horrible. I cultivating or growing. I am actually quite well at it. I have done a lot of reading on it. I've watched a lot of videos, and I put those into practice. So I can grow a full garden. I can also grow my own medicine and that kind of things, and that's kind of how I work with it. I use a lot of natural medicines that I can control here at home. Um, and that's something that I really enjoy. I am showing you one of those things right now. I am not the maker of these products. These products are from Nature's Medicine, I believe. Yeah, Nature's Medicine. So, yeah, and I actually quite excel at it. I've taken a professional grow, and I have flipped it to a completely organic grow, to where we were working with about 150 plants at a time. So it was kind of nice. I was able to do that. I was able to get all that scheduling. I was able to wean his plants off of pesticides and use more natural things to do that with. Because you can use spices to help contain bugs, that won't affect the plant. Um, so yeah, it's kind of one of those things that I'm really good at. I love doing it, and yeah. So I put on here smart. I put on here smart because my husband told me I was. He was looking at this, and he's like, "Why don't you have smart on here? You're smart. You have a college degree. You're smart." Like, because I have a college degree doesn't mean I'm smart. And he disagreed. He's like, "You are, but whatever." I am horrible with compliments. Horrible. Um, I really am, because I don't see those things in me that other people see. However, I ran across a TikTok post of all things of a saying, that you're not you'll never get that full love because you're the one that hugs the devil out of everybody else. Who's gonna hug the devil out of you? Been there, done that. Um, yeah, I still do it with with people and my friends. Um, I'm still trying to do it with my husband, but we're getting there. After 20 years, we're doing it. So yeah, I am a hard worker. I work very hard for whatever it is that I do. I try. I want to put my best foot forward, and do what we got to do. Is by working together, and working hard, we can do anything. We really can, and I do believe that. Honest to a fault, I am. I didn't always be, but I am now. When I was younger, um, high school, college, first part of college, I got out of that habit in college already, big time, because yeah, it was so bad. Um, I would lie if the truth sounded better. It didn't matter. I don't think in some cases I knew what that truth was. Well, 30 years later, I figured that out. I can't say 30 years later. I figured it out within the first 10, but um, yeah, I am honest to a T. Don't ask me what you look like, what your ass looks like in those pants, because I'm gonna tell you. I don't sugarcoat it anymore. I tried for a long time, to sugarcoat shit, and I'm just done. I don't want to do it anymore. Um, if I got something to say, I'm going to say it. And I highly recommend you do the same thing. I see more mental illness flying around these social media apps every day that go unchecked. That I think that maybe it's time for us to look a little bit harder at mental health and start checking ourselves, because my truth isn't the truth, and that's a big deal. So yeah, I'm very honest. I don't, and I do not appreciate dishonesty at all. You're gonna be dishonest with me, I'm done. I'll walk away. It is what it is. We're done, and that's all we'll be. So yeah. Oh dear me. So I did write a letter. Most of this I decided I was going to kind of do it in bullet points because I don't want to go into the full letter right here. So I'm kind of doing this as bullet points. So we've been working on our mental health for a couple of years now, looking at our achievements instead of our fears. I've built 3 companies: Desert Sea Design, We Folks Daycare, and Free My Care, and and I was fully involved in every facet of that business, from doing the taxes, doing the taxes, hiring, firing, billing, receiving, HR, writing, sales, and editing for Desert Sea Design, and we did a lot. I wrote articles about pesticides that would bore most people, and it kind of did. I have written things on cultivation, on cancers, on so many different levels that um, it's hard for me anymore to pick out those good qualities in myself. So I kind of put them through my writing, kind of thing. Um, I'll relate it with something so of strength or something, instead of saying that I'm strong. Maybe I'm the Eiffel Tower or whatever. That's kind of how I do it with that, and I have done it with my businesses all the way across the board. I've sat on boards as secretary treasurer, donating countless number of hours, pulling all nighters, filing all nonprofit paperwork, taxes, and filing annually crap. I did a lot for the nonprofits that I've been involved in. I've been involved in the four. The first one, however, was probably the one I immersed myself in the most, and that was Flying Over Time. I love the concept of the business. I loved the vision of I want to say artist, because he's more of an artist than anything. Basically, Flying Over Time is about the spirit of St. Louis, and Charles Lindbergh flying overseas. It is a beautiful story. However, the part that they leave out of it is the person, the architect or the engineer that built the Spirit of St. Louis. Well, I just was the grandson of the builder of the Spirit of St. Louis, and he found a chest with all kinds of this grandpa's information. It was just amazing. I still think it's amazing, and he wrote a book wrote a book about it with all this factual information in it. Did countless interviews. Did paintings. He was an artist that kind of revolved around that theme of the spirit of St. Louis and his appreciation and love for his grandfather and father. I knew his father. His father was a beautiful, beautiful man. He was a good guy. He passed away several years ago. I want to say he had cancer and just wasn't doing too good. But he was an amazing man. So yeah, I have spent years in college. Yeah, I spent years in college. It's a lot of work. I mean, I don't even know what else to say. I've yeah, I studied sociology and criminology. I wanted to know about that part of the dark mind, because maybe then I could help prepare me. I was a victim of child trafficking, severe abuse as a child, a little child, and that was started by my parents. So I I have a lot of pent up things, and I was hoping that if I went to school and learned a little bit more about them and was able to see, maybe then I could help mend what was going on in my head, and that didn't happen. What ended up happening instead was I learned how to block it out to where I didn't remember it anymore. I didn't have to think about it anymore. Well, that was fine and dandy up until about 10 years ago. About 10 years ago, uh, I was at stage 4 of bladder cancer. I wasn't doing all that great mentally. I sure as hell wasn't doing that great physically. And I learned that I had blocked everything out, and it was all coming flooding right back into me when I dreamt. My brain was trying to reconcile, and I started to remember what had gone on. I would call family members, and I would get confirmations of what was going on or what had happened. Um, one of the most common ones was when my older brother he was right there through most of it. So yeah, that kind of hurt me longer in the long run though. I would have to say because I didn't deal with those feelings for a very long time, and now I'm bipolar. I have anxiety. I have severe PTSD because of all of this stuff. So now I'm going back and relearning all of this stuff and applying it to my life and helping you and hoping that you can apply them to yours as well. I've helped a lot of fur parents get medical care for their fur babies. I ran a husky group for a long time. I had two huskies, and I was having a really hard time in my life. Dawn and I had separated, and yeah, it was really tough. And so I put my head into the husky group to the point of being blinded about what was going on around me. So, but I always made sure to help set up GoFundMe's for kids, for the fur babies. As long as they had the information, we would get that information out and we would send it to all the right people. But they did have to have the right information. So, from the vet and all that, it had to be real because I want to say the first 6 months we had raised quite a bit of money, and then we had just kind of doled it out, not thinking, oh, okay, they're not going to give it to the vet. So now, after that, we learned that we would pay the vet directly, as long as all the paperwork was available. So, I mean, it's really nice. I still get involved with it on occasion, but I'm not as active as I used to be. I love growing and cultivating for food and medicine, and I'm not horrible. I'm loyal to a fault. Even during that 3 years that my husband and I had actually separated, I didn't date anybody. I had the kids. They weren't his. They were mine in my previous marriage. And yeah, it was tough. I had to spend that time feeling better and getting better and recognizing these things. Well, what had happened is I got involved in that husky group online and Facebook. I love Facebook. And I had a friend that helped run another group. Well, she was doing things that I didn't realize she was doing. She wasn't being fair. She was just being horrible. And I was loyal to her until I found out what was actually going on. So I walked away. I just walked away. Bye. She had tried calling me twice since then, and both times, bye, bye. I just don't have the desire to do that anymore. I don't want to be the mean, mad person. I don't want to be that person. I am not the victim. I don't want to be that victim anymore. That victim mentality needs to go away. So, yeah. I can do anything I put my mind to. I would have to say that's true. As long as I'm putting my mind to it, there are a few times that I didn't do quite so good because I kind of half-assed it. So now I know it's all or nothing. I have to all go in or all not go in. So we are learning. Hopefully quick enough. Alrighty. We are moving right along. Let's go to kick FOMO to curve FOMO, or the fear of missing out. But first, yep. Guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to smash that like button if you're new to this family here on YouTube. There's 3 days a week, Monday through Friday, and to help you with all of your mental health worries right now. And to talk about Texas and how it does actually help. I don't know. There's been a couple times I've sat down, but I do most of the statements beforehand, obviously. And I actually will have an anxiety attack knowing of what exercises I'm going to have to do. Not because they're saying it was because I have to face something. I have to face a fear of the story or personality, and it's difficult. Um, so hopefully, by doing all this, I want to avoid negative thoughts, negative attitudes, this victim flip mentality, and making myself better, making the community around me better. Alright, as always, guys, fuck cancer, fuck anxiety, fuck depression, fuck COVID. It was a good out of that. Are you kidding me? You didn't want to work. Wouldn't let me pull. So, I do have to ask a wonderful question there, my friend. What do you think of the intro and outro? I am dying to know what you guys think. Now that I figured out how to do it. So I have this book that I can going through and for YouTube so that I can make sure all my settings and everything are correct. So hopefully we'll be able to get this moving along a little bit better. As always, guys, fuck cancer, fuck anxiety, fuck depression, fuck COVID, in with the good, now with the bad. That one has a citrusy taste to her. Okay. FOMO, or fear of missing out, has become increasingly common thanks to social media. Day in and day out, you see everything you're missing out on when you turn plans down or make different plans. Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter all make sure of that. FOMO can make you feel not only left out and lonely, but also bad about yourself. Worries about falling behind or being left behind may start to grow. These thoughts are totally normal, but they're not helpful. When it comes to dealing with FOMO, it's important to reframe being alone as an opportunity to spend time with yourself. In the cell phone, write down some things you can do for fun alone. The next time FOMO strikes, flip to these pages and enjoy one or more of these activities. Oh, I'll get my. It's always like the second dab or third dab that I kind of lose that reading ability and I kind of get back a little bit later. Okay, so FOMO, or fear of missing out. What would I do? What kind of things would make me feel better? That make me feel like I'm not really missing out. I actually have this. Because I have agoraphobia, one of the biggest things is I do miss out on a lot of things because, yeah, I'd have to go outside, or I'd have to be around people, or I would just have to leave my home. So I find that I feel better if I'm reading, watching a movie, cleaning. Oddly enough, laundry calms me down. Crazy, isn't it? If I'm pissed off, I will clean this entire place. That's when my husband knows I'm not in trouble. So it is kind of funny. He knows the minute I'm like cleaning, it's all over. Shit, what did I do? Is what he usually says. And it's like, most of the time, I can chalk it up to a miscommunication between the two of us. But every now and again, I just am pissed the fuck off. And I don't know why. I'm sorry. I went through menopause. It's not like I'm on my period anymore. But I do. I get to where I'm like pissed off. And I don't know why. Do you guys ever get that as well? Oh my god. Okay, so play with the dogs. Oh yeah. See, I'll go out into the garage right now. We have the AC on because it's 100 and what 10 I think today gonna be. So the garage door's open. You know, we're all open. Here's where we share air conditioning. But I'll go out there and I'll lay on them, or lay on not them, because Tara doesn't like it. But I'll lay my head on Raffy and I'll read a book, and it doesn't bother him. He actually likes it. It makes him happy. When I get up to walk away, he gets up and he's like, "What the hell?" He kind of takes offense to it. But Raffy and I have, I don't know, a very odd relationship. I got Raffy and Demon. Raffy was supposed to be for my youngest son, Nathan. Demon was supposed to be for my oldest son, Trey. Well, Demon took to my oldest like nobody's business. Loves him. Loved him. I mean, to the point where she slept in his bed, the whole night. She really did love him. Nathan, however, he didn't do as much. I mean, Raffy he didn't like men for some reason. He liked women. He had never been abused. I got him when he was 8 weeks old, so he never had really the opportunity to be abused. But he became very attached to Mom. Wherever Mom went, Raffy went too. And that went throughout. He ended up getting his service dog certification because I had cancer, and he was helpful to me. And he's 18 years old. We had a relationship. I mean, he's been my baby for 18 years. And I think he sees me as his property, and the only reason why I say that is because there's been twice that he has actually lifted his leg and peed on me. Peed all over my leg. I'm like, what the hell? Once was him, Demon, and my husband and I were all playing, and I went and tackled my husband. We were kind of, playing wrestling and whatnot, and dogs were getting all excited. Well, we had gotten up, and I was standing there, we were talking for a second, and he lifts his leg and pees on me right there in the house. I'm like, what the fuck? Whoa! Well, then there was a totally separate time when a friend of mine, a male friend of mine, had come over, and we were in the backyard talking about something or having a cigarette or something, and again, Raffy comes up and pees on my leg. So he is definitely a mama's boy. He's an asshole at times, but yeah, I'll sit down, I'll lay down with him and read a book or whatever. Him and I mean, I can lay on him and watch a movie. He won't move. That's just the way he is. He likes being snuggled. That's him. He's just a big baby. I can take a nap. I can listen and dance to music without being overly embarrassed because, yeah, I don't want to do. I'm not a singer, let me tell you. So, let's see. Embrace uncertainty. Uncertainty is a huge trigger worry. It often opens the door to a host of troubling thoughts, like, what if something terrible happens? And I will, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so, and I will never be ready for what happens if I can't predict what it will be. Sometimes, however, the best things in life are what you're unprepared for. They're called surprises. Sorry, that just, okay. They're, they're called surprises, and they can be pretty exciting. In the following space, you're going to fill out an ode to uncertainty that celebrates it rather than fears it. So on this one, instead of writing all of this down, I just kind of wrote down the words, just kind of make it a little bit quicker and easier. So, uncertainty. I feel like I need to be in Shakespearean, Oh, wherefore art thou, oh certainty. Sorry, yeah, I'm getting a little high. You can see it. Yeah, this is kind of how it works. It's not too scary. I'm not crazy. I'm not losing my mind. So just kind of laughing and giggling. I used to be so anxious about your existence, but now I feel a little bit more at ease. I even feel okay and hopeful about what you have in store for me. In fact, some wonderful things have happened that were unexpected in my life, such as I've met all of you guys, all you wonderful people here online. Um, Getting to know me better. That has been probably one of the best things at this point. And then becoming a little less anxious. If I had seen these beautiful moments coming, maybe I would have been less ungrateful, or maybe I would have been less grateful, less in awe of them. So thank you, uncertainty, because without you, life would be a lot more boring. Yeah, I agree. Okay, worst case scenarios head on. You know those worst case scenarios you play over and over in your head? The ones that are so good at inflating a small worry into a full blown panic attack? In the following space, write down every instance that a worst case scenario did not happen. What was the situation? What did the envision happening? What did you envision happening? What actually happened? And when were you done? Oh, and when you're done, go to the next page. Okay. So, I would have to say probably the number one worst case scenario that I always get in my head is money. Always money. Um, I can think in my head, okay, we have this much in the account, we have to pay this, and then I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I think we're like $200 short. And in a lot of cases, I'll check my account, and I'm usually pretty close, so I'm usually not that short. It may only be I'm in the blue $10, $20 or whatnot, but it doesn't always happen that it's bad. I always envision it's going to be bad. I always get that stress, like I don't want to look, I don't want to look, or even like holding my breath. And I'm going to try to figure out something else to look at because I don't want to sit here and stare at the stupid app until it like logs me into my account. Maybe if I'm looking away and I'm kind of peeking, it'll be better. It's all these stupid little things that you do. I have a huge anxiety for when it comes to money. I've never had a lot, so I've always had to work at least two jobs to make sure my kids and stuff were taken care of. So I've never had a lot of money. Um, and there was a time that I was so bad with budgeting. I found checks. It was just bad. Because I didn't fully understand that. But that's also about 30 years ago too. I pay everything on my debit card now. I don't have any credit. I don't even apply for it. I have no credit. I don't have bad credit. I just have no credit. And that doesn't help a lot of things either. But it's every time money. Ugh, I hate that one. Recently dealing with property management here at the park. I love this park, and I want to say we're probably about 90% empty right now. There's not a lot of people here, so that's great for me. I have, a table out with flowers and fruits, vegetables, and stuff that I'm growing, and then I have my flowers around the palm tree, and I've gotten decorative rocks, and I've made nice little things. I take the leaf blower out and pull off the leaves and keep my little area clean and nice. But I'm assuming I offended the owner at some point in time, and I don't know, our conversations are kind of abrupt. So I ended up having to call the office last night because when we took the dogs for a walk, there was water like shooting up in the air and going nuts over by the horses. Well, as you're going down into the horses, and I'm like, okay, that's not gonna be good. Call, okay. And she answered the phone like, now what? And I've only called her one time to say, or twice, to say, hey, my electricity's popping the circuit. I'm like, okay. But she was like, what do you want? I'm like, and of course, I freeze up at that moment because now I'm like, I can't talk. Somebody's pissed off at me. I hate confrontation. And I'm like, you guys have a hose or something that's cut and spring water everywhere over by the horses by the main wood pile. By the big wood pile? Yeah, by the big wood pile there. There's a hose that's cut and spring water everywhere. Oh, okay, I'll call whomever and have him go look at it. Okay, just so you know. No, thank you. I'm like, no problem. Hang up. That's it. Once she found out what I was calling for, she was fine. I mean, maybe she answers the phone for everybody that way. I don't know, but it's one of those things that I'm having a hard time with, and I don't want to go say, okay, lady, did I offend you? What's up? Not in the mood for your shit. I pay my rent on time. I pay my electric on time, and I don't whine about it. Leave me alone. That and I stay in my trailer and we mind our own business for the most part. I mean, we'll open up the blinds and watch people, but we mind our own business. Okay, going to the hospital. That is every fucking time. That is worst case in my head. And I'm actually about 50% of the time it comes through. About 50% of the time it doesn't. So it's freaking headphones bugging me. So that one I always get. I always freak out over, especially because now the vaccine is now becoming an issue. I can't get the vaccine, and it's not because I don't want it, which I don't. Getting pulled over by a police officer when the guns were drawn. Now this is an old one, and the reason why I bring it up is because I still have anxiety over this issue. I was pulled over, I want to say about 10 years ago, um, here in Arizona, and I was speeding. To be honest with you, I was speeding. What had happened was I had gotten a phone call from my brother saying, "Nah, you need to get here now. Mom's dying. You need to get here. We're turning her off." And that's what it was. Is we were turning her off because she wasn't doing well. Well, I was upset and I got in the car. I didn't take the kids with me at this time, and I drove to East Mesa. Well, on my way out there, I got pulled over by a cop who, of course, is asking, why are you going so fast? And I had burst into tears and said, I have to go kill my mom. And just like that, I have to go kill my mom. And he drew his gun on me. He actually drew his gun on me, made me get out of the car, made me explain myself a little bit better. Um, at that point, he had put his firearm away, and I'm running over to the other side of the car because now I'm throwing up because I'm just beyond crazy at that point. Um, this police officer then proceeds to give me a very big hug, tell me how sorry he is, and then gave me a police escort to the hospital, which was um, an amazing thing considering he didn't have to do that. But yeah, I think I've had a cop behind me a couple of times now, and I'm like, oh my god, because that situation just kind of comes up and knots in my stomach. I know that I'm not going to have that problem again. It's just, I don't know. I still have it. Any damage to this trailer? Oh my god. I freak out about. We just had a black tank and a gas tank got hit. We were driving down the road, and a metal square bar we had driven over it, and the wheels kicked it up, and it hit the front of our trailer, and then went underneath the trailer and was bouncing, just like this, all the way down. And you can see the holes every time the metal bar bounced up and hit the bottom portion of the trailer, and oh wow, it dumped 30 gallons of gasoline right there everywhere. We were not on a main highway, so that was nice. Somebody had let us know what happened by, he's like, hello, you're spitting gas everywhere, and Dom's like, gas? I don't know about that, but yeah, that one. and now that damage, oh God, that was a $10,000 bill to fix. Thank God for insurance. And then the warranty lady at Lazy Days. This is an ongoing problem we have been having with our trailer. Lazy Days doesn't seem to have the scruples to honor a contract, a written contract. Um, they can't be honest. They can't return phone calls, and none of them know how to fucking fix anything. In the 2 years that we have been taking this in, I think we've had taken this in 6 times now. We have had 3 things fixed by them: the refrigerator latch, two and two two window latches, and a shower door in our main bathroom. That's all they fixed, and we've got 3 pages of issues because there's an electrical issue, there is a computer issue, there's issues with this trailer. Well, now I can't deal with the warranty lady at Lazy Days because she's a big baby or something. I don't know. Basically, what had happened was I was on the phone with her. I put her on speakerphone because my husband's right here. He needs to hear what's going on. And it was like somebody had walked into her office and she was putting a show on for him. Stop yelling at me. My husband and I were not yelling. You're on speakerphone. You might be talking a little loud, but so you can hear us because you're on speakerphone. Stop yelling at me. And then she repeated, stop yelling at me 30 times because we actually counted it. It was insanely unprofessional. And that one, it still gets me. Yeah. Those are some of those wonderful things that I have hit head on. But most of the time they turn out okay. The warranty lady thing at Lazy Days is still an ongoing thing, so I don't have a resolution to that yet. I have called and left 3 messages for that company. Not one phone call back. So, take it as you will. Okie dokie. Then now we're at all the worst case scenarios. I kind of went through both of them back and forth. Most of the time, my money situation, my budgeting does pretty well, and I don't have too many issues with it. Every now and again, we do have the issue where I'm like, fuck, I forgot that bill. And we're short, but it's becoming fewer and farther between, so I'm very happy with that. So now for the last portion, water your growth. Sometimes worry comes from a lack of personal growth or from a fear that you have veered off the path into becoming the best version of yourself. So how exactly are you fostering your growth? In the water droplets above, write down a trait or a skill you want to improve on. Then jot down the ways you are currently working towards that goal. If you can't think of anything, you know what your next step is. Start creating them. Okay, so water my growth. Some of the skills that I am currently working on is budgeting successfully or more successfully. Being around other people without feeling the need to run away. That one's a hard one. I'm wanting to get over that one. I'm working on it, so hopefully we will get somewhere with that one. I want to get better at some of the YouTubes and other socials, so I went out and purchased a couple of books that I'm going to start reading, and we're going to fix this channel and see what we got going on. Planning successfully. I would like to be able to plan something a little bit more successfully down to the money that I'm going to need, what I want to do, what I want to do with it, and that kind of thing. I think I might actually start that with the garage, kind of set down, do a budget for what it is I want, and kind of work it out. Maybe that'll be one of the first scheduling or successfully budgeting something like that, a barrel project. So that could be a good thing. Being with or memory. My memory freaking sucks. I can't remember crap, so I have one of those apps on my phone, when things you play the game with, and it helps. So hopefully. And then of course mental health. That is always a big one for me. I do have a lot of mental health issues that I'm trying to deal with. So, spin the decision wheel. Sometimes it's hard to make decisions on what to do in the moment. When you are spiraling into a worried thought, should you tackle the issue, let it go, leave it for a better time, or step away for a moment to catch your breath? That's where the what do I do right now comes into play. Or what do I do right now decision wheel comes into play. So, it has deal with it, let it go, breathe, set aside for now with the what do I do in the middle. So instructions. Place your pencil or pen in the middle of the wheel, then spin it. Whatever the decision it points to is what you're going to do right now to handle this worry. So let's say budgeting successfully is going to be that one. So we're going to put our pen, I'm only going to do this once. And we're going to spin it right off the table. Let it go. Or deal with it. So that is basically how it works. You can actually do it with another piece of paper, write those things down. Since there is only 4, you can actually put it into a square. That way you have bigger space to go. Yeah, just to make it a little bit easier. So that is what we've worked on. Next week when we are back, we are going to start making a plan. We will be on page 34. We're just cooking right along. We're doing real good. Oh my goodness. Doing that. Just reminded me last night I was laying in bed and my glasses had fallen off. And hubby thought it would be funny when I went over the bed to get my glasses to kind of push a little bit. Holy crap. I damn near broke the mirror in the bedroom. He's like grabbing me like, oh no! Oh. I love it. Sometimes it's adorable. So as always, guys, don't forget to slam on that subscribe button. Don't forget to like the video. Join us here on YouTube. I just had a really beautiful whistle, and it totally threw my whole thought off. So don't forget to slam that subscribe button. Don't forget to like the video. We are still shadow banned by subscribers because we're canceled. The way that it should be is that in the city and state that I live in, it is completely legal. Therefore, we can have the right and the privilege to not only voice our opinion about different types of medicines that are used, but we should be able to review those types of businesses to educate other people on what those businesses are and what their practices are. So that is why I did do cannabis and ask you guys to help me out there. We are hitting for unsubscribed viewers, so it does make life a little bit difficult. Alrighty, so as always, guys, fuck cancer, fuck anxiety, fuck depression, fuck COVID. In with the good and out with the bad. That's actually pretty tasty. Look at that. Watermelon gelato butter. That's a pretty smell. So as always, guys, thank you for watching and mad love, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Aww.